In addition to using a graph to finding the domain of a square root function, we can also find a domain algebraically. So once again, we're looking for the domain, the set of all x values for which this function is defined. Well, you can take the square root of any positive number, but if you try and take the square root of a negative number, that is a non-real answer. The square root of negative numbers does not exist. So, to ensure that we get a positive number inside of the square root, we need to find all the values of x that are going to give us positive numbers inside of the square root, under the square root. So we would set x plus 4. We want this to be all numbers greater than or equal to 0. All numbers greater than or equal to 0 are positive numbers. We then solve for x, and we should get our domain. So again, we're trying to get x by itself. We need to subtract 4 on both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. So we're left with x greater than or equal to negative 4. So once again, we can only take the square root of positive numbers. So we want all of the x values that's going to give us positive numbers below the square root. So let's say we had this 4 square root of x minus 5 plus 2. Again, under the square root, we want positive numbers. We can ensure that by setting this greater than or equal to 0. So we want x minus 5, right? The terms under the square root to be greater than or equal to 0. Once again, we solve for x. We add 5 on both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0. We're left with x is greater than or equal to positive 5. So the domain of this function is all the x values greater than or equal to 5.